Nearly 3 years ago, they were the face of a video that was supposed to change the future of Dungeons & Dragons. Now, almost none of them are left. Let's take a look at all the talent D&D has lost from their big One D&D world reveal.
Heads up, because this could get hairy.
Before we dive into just how many key members of the D&D team have left since appearing in the One D&D world reveal video, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep this channel growing. And then, let's talk about the downfall of One D&D. It was supposed to be the future of D&D, the perfect evolution of 5th edition, with a massive, robust set of digital tools to support it. But less than 3 years later, more than half the key figures involved in the massive One D&D world reveal video are gone. So what happened, where are they now, and what does that mean for the future of D&D? Let's start from the top. The first person you see in the video is Jeremy Crawford. He literally started off the One D&D reveal like so many other D&D videos, and was the public face of D&D during this big transition. But as we have reported several times now, he is officially done at D&D as of this week, and appears to be ready to begin taking on his former employees at Wizards of the Coast with a new endeavor at some point in the near future. So he's gone from the face of the company to a potential future leader of the resistance against Wizards of the Coast, all in the span of less than 3 years. Chris Cow is one of the main figures behind the D&D Digital Initiative and Project Sigil specifically, but things began going south for him almost immediately after appearing in the One D&D world reveal. Leaked documents from the OGL crisis in 2023 revealed reports of him bullying his staff and the fact that apparently Cow didn't even play Dungeons & Dragons in the first place. Despite leading Project Sigil, Cow wound up being one of the 30 or so members of the dev team to be let go when Wizards of the Coast effectively pulled the plug on their VTT at the start of April. And no news on his future endeavors have popped up since. Chris Perkins is the next to appear in the video, and much like Crawford, he was one of the most recognizable faces in all of D&D, and the man most associated with the early boom of actual plays, with his time spent DMing for the big D&D streams and of course Acquisitions Incorporated with Penny Arcade. While he too left the company this April, he phrased his leaving as a retirement instead of just stepping away, but it remains to be seen what happens next with Perkins and how D&D recovers from losing both of the faces of their brand in the span of weeks. Ray Wininger, the creative director featured in the One D&D video, barely lasted longer than the video itself, quitting the company in October just months after the reveal back in August. Wininger, who took over for Mike Merles, the former executive producer of D&D, said he had achieved all the goals he had aimed for when taking over his position, which is kind of wild considering that he had barely started in it 2 years ago. And apparently, Wininger's goals did not include seeing One D&D brought to life. And finally, the video ends with Carlo Ariano, the principal art director for D&D, talking about the power and the utility that the virtual tabletop, that would become known as Project Sigil later, would bring to D&D fans, and his vision for the project itself. However, just months later in February of 2023, he left D&D and Wizards of the Coast during their wave of layoffs in that year. So the man who was in charge of crafting the look of D&D never got the chance to bring his vision to life, and now is working as an art director for Bullet Farm, a video game company out of California, instead. So in less than 3 years, almost all of the major talent featured in the One D&D World Reveal video has left the company, either willingly or through layoffs. Cale Stutzman, the director of digital game design, who you may know as the guy who showed off the VTT in the 2023 D&D Direct, remains around, although his Sigil team is gutted to just 2 or 3 people at this point. The only other familiar face you may recall from the video is designer Mackenzie DeArmas, who would pop up in occasional D&D playtest videos and the 2024 D&D Directs. But D&D has largely shed the entire team behind the original One D&D concept, which kind of makes sense when you see the weird, semi-new half edition that D&D 2024 turned into, one that apparently Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford could barely wait to put behind them. And what does this mean for the future of D&D? Besides the fact that One D&D World Reveal video appears to be cursed in terms of keeping employees, it could mean massive changes for the company. While Project Sigil may have failed, The fact that D&D is still keeping Cale Stutzman around to work on digital game design, and that two of the most vocal opponents of Hasbro CEO Chris Cox's plans to push AI into D&D, Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford, have now left the company, it could very much be the end of an era for the D&D that we know. AI is now almost certainly coming to D&D, with Chris Cox pushing for more and more integration and floating ideas like AI Dungeon Masters and AI campaign prompts and AI everything in his perfect version of digital D&D. One D&D never managed to live up to its promise, and with the majority of the team behind that initial plan now gone, we wouldn't be shocked to see if more of the few remaining big names at D&D start leaving the company as well, as a huge push for mainly digital and increasingly more and more AI-based content seems to almost certainly be heading our way. So what do you think? Are you sad we'll never get to see the original vision of One D&D come to life? Or are you ready for D&D to turn the page on a new era? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.